Folks say her husband never came home from that last cattle drive. Funny thing is, she still lights a lantern every night. Barn leans heavy on a wind-scarred plain, red paint peeled by dust and rain. Doors hang crooked on iron rings, roof sings low when the night wind sings. Inside stalls lined with empty straw, rusty nails with a bridle saw. Spider webs in a silver lace, catching ghosts in an open space. But every dusk when the sky goes red, she walks out slow with a covered head, strikes one match with a wrinkled hand, sets that lamp where the rafters stand. On a springtime morn, left soft kiss on a cheek well worn. Said drive's long but the price is fair, bring back corn and somewhere to spare. Clouds rolled mean on the second week, flood took cattle, left bones and creek. Some came back with an empty stare, some stayed out in the thunder air. He was one who never showed, just a lost name on a muddy road. Town road missing on the line, widow ready with a hollow spine. She refused to ride gone. Widow's lantern in the barn, glowing soft like a tired charm. Light for a man who lost his way, beacon in a bale of hay. Lantern swinging in the dark, small, bright, stubborn little spark. If he ever rides that trail back home, he won't come back alone. Years slid by on a wagon wheel, field grew weeds where they used to heal. Sheep patched fences, mended roof, worked that land with a wordless proof. Held his hat on a rusty nail, faith worn thin in the furnace gale. Still at dusk with that same slow pace, lamp in hand in a distant face. Kids in town said she lost her mind, waiting long for a ghost sign find. But some nights riders pass that farm, swear they feel more than one warm arm. One black winter I was running hard, low on my heels like a deck of cards. Snow came down in a sideways blast, trail near gone in the whitewash cast. Horse near lame in the knee-deep drift, cold in my bones like a final gift. Then I saw it in the blizzard's teeth, tiny glow from the valley's teeth. Lantern swinging through the swirling white, soft gold halo in the punishing night. I follow slow with a dying mare, hands near numb in the frostbit air. Didn't know I was following a prayer. Widow's lantern in the barn, glowing soft like a tired charm. Light for a man who lost his way, beacon in a bale of hay. Lantern swinging in the dark, small, bright, stubborn little spark. If he ever rides that trail back home, he won't come back alone. She found me, half froze by her fence post. Didn't ask who I'd shot or what I'd stolen. Just said, you look like you're trying to come back from somewhere. She dragged me in with a strength I lacked, wrapped me up in a war-worn sack, fed me soup on a shaky spoon, listened quiet 'neath the winter moon. I told her lies, told her half the truth, left out gun smoke, kept the youth. She just nodded with a no steel grace, lines like roads on a weathered face. Later on in the lantern's glow, she glanced once at the drifting snow, said, I light this for the man I knew. Tonight it burned for you. Widow's lantern in the barn, glowing soft like a tired charm. Light found one more stray that night, pulled him back from a wordless fight. I left at dawn with a promised change, all rearranged on a frozen range. If he ever finds that little farm, I hope he sees what saved this heart. Till then that lamp keeps cutting through for men like him, like me too. Boot Hill's full of men who never got to finish what they started. Sometimes the wind digs up what they meant to say. Graveyard ridge on the town's backside, wooden markers in a crooked slide. Hats nailed down on a couple of posts, cheap pine boxes for pistol ghosts. They call it Boot Hill, hard and plain with a quick turncoat in a day of rain. Every cross leans with a tired ache, rope burnouts in a cedar stake. Kids toss stones at the sun-bleached bone, rattling ribs in a half-dug zone. But under dirt and splintered plank lies more than bullets and what we've drank. Some old drunk with a shovel hand worked the graves for a bottle stand. Said these here men died too fast, didn't send word of their final pass. When I dig I find more than bone, find their words in a borrowed tone. He showed me once by a cracked wood mound, pulled back soil from a coffin bound. There beneath the weathered lid, wrapped in oilcloth letters hid, names on paper and a shaking scrawl. Never mailed, never read it all. Boot Hill's got a post office for the dead. Letters buried under Boot Hill clay, words of men who went astray. Ink turned brown, edges torn, hearts still beating and pages worn. Letters sleeping in the dust, full of sorrow, full of rust. If we read what they couldn't send, maybe we change our end. First one told of a woman's face, back east home in a river place. Said, dear Emily, I'm coming soon. Once I've chased this outlaw moon, I got corn and I got fame, gonna give you a better name. Signed it both with a flourish line, dated spring of '69. Stone above read a different date, short 2 days from that promised date. Shot in a saloon over marked up cars, never crossed back her front yard. Second note from a preacher's son, hands once clean, now stained with guns. Ma, I fell where the money is, lost the book but I miss his. If he still listens to boys like me, tell him I ain't who I wanted to be. Signed with a smell like a blood-bone mark, paper stiff as a splinter bark. Grave up top just said Joe unknown, shallow scraping a borrowed stone. Town forgot who he been before, letter knew a little more. You can shoot a man's body, but his words stay loaded. Let us bed on a boot hill clay. Words of men who went astray. Ink turned brown, edges torn, hearts still beating and pages worn. Let us sleeping in the dust, full of sorrow, full of rust. If we read what they couldn't send, maybe we'd change our end. Old drunk handed me one last note, sealed and never opened. Said, you might want to read who wrote this one. My own name on the fold. Hands went numb as I cracked that seam. Didn't remember writing that dream. Words spilled out in a jagged roll from a night out, nearly frozen snow. Mom finding a liar's tone. Work is good, I don't feel alone. Soon as I stack enough for land, I'll come back hat in hand. Truth was then I was drunk and broke, living off another man's joke. Had that letter in my coat for weeks, never sent what my heart still speaks. Must have lost it in a barroom fight, dropped from my pocket in the lamplight. Man who died there took my place, they buried him with my written face. Boot hill kept what I tried to hide, pinned my lies to another's ride. Old drunk smile with a knowing frown, said some words tie you to this ground. I burned that note on the graveyard stone, watched the ash rise up alone. Wind took black where the sky turned gold, carried what I never told. Letters buried under boot hill clay, words of men who went astray. I got time to send mine yet, write the truth and pay the debt. If my bones end up on this ridge, under grass and a weathered bridge, I pray no one digs and finds what I meant for living minds. So I'll ride down from this hill tonight, ink new lines in a clearer light. Maybe words that reach her hand will keep my name off this land. Bars don't just hold the guilty. Sometimes they hold what the guilty left behind. One-room jail on a sunburned street, iron door where the drunkards meet, single cell with a rusted lock, cots nailed down to the splintered block, windows slid in a stone-cold wall, dust slide cut in a narrow fall, daytime quiet as a buried sin, nighttime humming with what's been. Sheriff sits by the ledger's edge, boots on desk by the window ledge, badge too bright for a man his age, eyes worn thin by another page. He once threw a boy in that iron bed, stealing bread for his mom near dead. Kid swore hard he'd pay it back, work the dead on an honest track, But Sheriff's heart had a winter crust. Said law is law, and that's just. Left him there in a fevered cough. God forgot and the night turned off. Storm rolled in with a flashing roar. Lightning split through the cellar floor. Next day shackles still held fast, but the boy's breath had fled on past. You can't scrub that off stone. There's a sheriff's jailhouse ghost, walks the bars from post to post. Small bare feet on a concrete slab. Cold night wind like a grabbing hand. Jailhouse ghost with a hollow stare. Haunting law that wasn't fair. If you hear change when the hallway's clear, you know he's still here. Years went by and the sheriff grave still wrote names in the book he made. Some deserved that iron door, some just poor and tired and sore. Never spoke of the one who died, never named what his pride had tied. But some nights late after cards and gin, he'd sit alone and talk within. Cell stayed empty on paper lines, but boots at night traced invisible signs. Got on shift, heard soft low cough, sound of breath that never turned off. New kid lawman came to town, bright star badge and a nervous frown. Said, old man, you should rest that bone. Let me hold this dusty throne. Sheriff smiled with a hollow grin. Knew the dark in that old stone inn. Take the keys, take the list, but learn the name I somehow missed. He pointed once at the cell's bare floor. Lip went tight, said nothing more. New kid shrugged with a youthful scoff. Didn't see the boy behind the bar's call. Some warnings, only ghost here. There's a sheriff's jailhouse ghost, walks the bars from post to post. Small bare feet on a concrete slab. Cold night wind like a grabbing hand. Jailhouse ghost with a hollow stare. Haunting law that wasn't fair. If you hear change when the hallway's clear, still here. One night, new kid tossed a drunk inside. Laughed when he begged for water. Light went out. Lock clicked, and the drunk wasn't alone. Later that night came a panicked yell, echo jumping from the stone-walled shell. New kid burst through the iron gate, face drained wide in a fear-struck state. Said, I saw someone in that cell, too small, too thin, you can tell. Drunk swears hands touched his throat, ice cold fingers, no warm coat. Sheriff sighed with a canyon weight, knew that boy hadn't crossed no gate. Said, you met the one that I forgot, name I wrote where I should've not. Next Sunday morning as the church bells rang, sheriff walked up where the choir sang, laid his badge on the preacher's stand, shook like thunder in his weathered hand. I held man hard and I called it right, left a child here in the night. If I can't free him in this lifespan, maybe he can. he's that kind of man. They say from then and in the midnight watch, cell grew still under lantern's notch. Chains don't clank and the drunks sleep calm. Only sounds a distant song. There's a sheriff's jailhouse ghost, walk the bars from post to post. Maybe now he's somewhere else, far from walls and rusted shells. Sheriff's gone, grave on the hill, keys rust quiet on the windowsill. If law forgets the weak once more, he'll be back, walking that floor.
Boot Hill's full of men who never gotta finish what they started. Sometimes the wind digs up what they meant to say. Graveyard ridge on the town's backside, wooden markers in a crooked slide, hats nailed down on a couple of posts, cheap pine boxes for pistol ghosts. They call it Boot Hill, hard and plain, where the quick turn cold in a day of rain. Every cross leans with a tired ache, rope burn nights in the cedar stake. Kids toss stones at the sun-bleached bone, rattling ribs in a half-dug zone. But under dirt and splintered plank lies more than bullets in what we drank. Some old drunk with a shovel hand worked the graves for a bottle stand. Said these here men died too fast, didn't send word of their final pass. When I dig, I find more than bone, find their words in a borrowed tone. He showed me once by a cracked wood mount, pulled back soil from a coffin bound. There beneath the weathered lead, wrapped in oilcloth letters hid, names on paper in a shaking scrawl. Never mailed, never read it all. Boot Hill's got a post office for the dead. Letters buried under Boot Hill clay, words of men who went astray. Ink turned brown, edges torn, hearts still beating in pages worn. Letters sleeping in the dust, full of sorrow, full of rust. If we read what they couldn't send, maybe we change our end. First one told of a woman's face back east home in a river place. Said, dear Emily, I'm coming soon. Once I've chased this outlaw moon, I got coin and I got fame, gonna give you a better name. Signed it bold with a flourished line, dated spring of '69. Stone above, read a different date, short 2 days from that promised day. Shot in a saloon over marked up cards, never crossed back a front yard. Second note from a preacher's son, hands once clean, now stained with guns. My eye fell where the money is, lost the book, but I miss his. If he still listens to boys like me, tell him I ain't who I wanted to be. Signed with a smear like a blood-borne mark, paper stiff as a splintered bark. Grave up top just said Joe Young known, shallow scrape and a borrowed stone. Time forgot who he'd been before, letter knew a little more. You can shoot a man's body, but his words stay loaded. Letters buried under Boot Hill clay, words of men who went astray. Ink turned brown, edges torn, hearts still beating in pages worn. Letters sleeping in the dust, full of sorrow, full of rust. If we read what they couldn't send, maybe we change our end. Old drunk handed me one last note, sealed and never opened. Said you might want to read who wrote this one. My own name on the fold. Hands went numb as I cracked that seam. Didn't remember writing that dream. Words spilled out in a jagged roll from a night I nearly froze in snow. Mom fine in a liar's tone. Work is good, I don't feel alone. Soon as I stack enough for land, I'll come back hat in hand. Truth was then I was drunk and broke, living off another man's choke. Had that letter in my coat for weeks, never sent what my heart still speaks. Must have lost it in a barroom fight, dropped from my pocket in the lamplight. Man who died there took my place, they buried him with my written face. Boot Hill kept what I tried to hide, pinned my lies to another's ride. Old drunk smile with a knowing frown, said some words tie you to this ground. I burned that note on the graveyard stone, watched the ash rise up alone. Wind took black where the sky turned gold, carried what I'd never told. Letters buried under Boot Hill clay, words of men who went astray. I got time to send mine yet, write the truth and pay the debt. If my bones end up on this ridge, under grass and a weathered bridge, I pray no one digs and finds what I meant for living minds. So I'll ride down from this hill tonight, ink new lines in a clearer light, maybe words that reach your hand will keep my name off this land. Bars don't just hold the guilty. Sometimes they hold what the guilty left behind. One room jail on a sunburned street, iron door where the drunkards meet, single cell with a rusted lock, cots nailed down to the splintered block, window slit in a stone cold wall, dust light cut in a narrow fall, daytime quiet as a buried sin, nighttime humming with what's been. Chef sits by the ledger's edge, boots on desk by the window ledge, badge too bright for a man his age, eyes worn thin by another page. He once threw a boy in that iron bed, stealing bread for his mind near dead. Kid swore hard he'd pay it back, worked the dead on an honest track. But sheriff's heart had a winter crust. Said law is law and that's just. Left him there in a fevered cough. God forgot and the night turned off. Storm rolled in with a flash and roar. Lightning split through the cellar floor. Next day shackles still held fast, but the boy's breath had fled on past. You can't scrub that off, Stone. There's a sheriff's jailhouse ghost, walks the bars from post to post. Small bare feet on a concrete slab, cold night wind like a grabbing hand. Jailhouse ghost with a hollow stare, haunting law that wasn't fair. If you hear change when the hallway's clear, you know he's still here. Years went by and the sheriff grave still wrote names in the book he made. Some deserve that iron door, some just poor and tired and sore. Never spoke of the one who died, never named what his pride had tied. But some nights late after cards and gin, he'd sit alone and talk within. Cell stayed empty on paper lines, but boots at night traced invisible signs. Guard on shift heard soft low cough, sound of breath that never turned off. New kid lawman came to town, bright star badge and a nervous frown. Said, old man, you should rest that bone, let me hold this dusty throne. Sheriff smiled with a hollow grin, knew the dark in that old stone inn. Take the keys, take the list, but learn the name I somehow missed. He pointed once at the cell's bare floor, lip went tight, said nothing more. New kid shrugged with a youthful scoff, didn't see the boy behind the bar's cough. Some warnings, only ghosts here. There's a sheriff's jailhouse ghost, walks the bars from post to post. Small bare feet on a concrete slab, cold night wind like a grabbing hand. Jailhouse ghost with a hollow stare, haunting law that wasn't fair. If you hear change when the hallway's clear, you know he's still here. New kid tossed a drunk inside, laughed when he begged for water. Light went out, lock clicked, and the drunk wasn't alone. Later that night came a panicked yell, echo jumping from the stone-walled shell. New kid burst through the iron gate, face drained wide in a fear-struck state. Said, I saw someone in that cell, too small, too thin, you can tell. Drunk swears hands touched his throat, ice cold fingers, no warm coat. Sheriff sighed with a canyon weight, knew that boy hadn't crossed no gate. Said, you met the one that I forgot, name I wrote where I should have not. Next Sunday morning as the church bells rang, Sheriff walked up where the choir sang, laid his badge on the preacher's stand, shook like thunder in his weathered hand. I held me in hard and I called it right, left the child here in the night. If I can't free him in this lifespan, maybe he can, if he's that kind of man. They say from then in the midnight watch, cell grew
still under lantern's notch. Chains don't clank and the drunk sleep calm. Only sounds a distant song. There's a sheriff's jailhouse ghost, walk the bars from post to post. Maybe now he's somewhere else, far from walls and rusted shells. Sheriff's gone, grave on the hill, keys rust quiet on the windowsill. If law forgets the weak once more, he'll be back, walking that floor. Walking that floor. Walking that floor.
They say the wind sounds different in the branches that have seen a rope. Up on that hill, every breeze sounds like one more last breath.
Dust road curls to the gallows rise, barbed wire fence under crows' black eyes. There on the lip of the broken ridge, old cottonwood stands like a crooked bridge, bark scarred deep where the rope once bit, white knots showing where the neck's head fit. Roots run down through the sinner's bones, drinking stories no one owns. Kids in town dare each other at night, sneaking close by the lantern light. They don't know what that tree has heard, how many men said their final word. First one swung on the copper dome, horse kicked out and the crowd looked on. Hands tied by Bulwer's red, eyes rolling wide as his face turned red. Sheriff smiled with a paper writ, said law's the law and that's just it. Tree limb creak with a tired groan, added one more to its secret throne. My own pa watched from the hill's low side, hat in hand as his brother died. Told me later with a whiskey stare, that tree grows best on guilt and prayer. I swore I'd never see that branch up close. Hangman's cottonwood up on high, reaches down to touch the sky. Every leaf that shakes at night sounds like men who lost the fight. Hangman's cottonwood, old and wide, ropes like snakes on the downwind side. If I ever feel that noose on me, I'll blame more than that tree. Years rolled by on a wagon wheel, I grew up mean with a restless steel. Cards, cheap whiskey, backroom deals, boots in places where the floorboards squeal. Robbed one coach on a winter track, thought no lawman could watch my back. Shot went wild in the smoking air, hit some kid who'd just been there. He went down in a snow dust spray, eyes still open like he'd wanna stay. I ran hard but the tracks
ran red, blood call following every tread. Didn't take long for the word to spread. Folks want justice for the cold boy dead. Sheriff found me by the river bend, gun in hand and no pretend. Didn't fight when he slapped those chains, didn't beg when he spoke my name. Only thought of that cottonwood limb, standing tall, waiting grim. Cell door shut with an iron slam. Guard said, "You know where you're going, man." I stared through bars at that distant rise, saw branch lines cut the sunrise. Funny how boyhood fear turns into an appointment. Hangman's cottonwood up on high, reaches down to touch the sky. Every leaf that shakes at night sounds like men who lost the fight. Hangman's cottonwood, old and wide, ropes like snakes on the downwind side. If I ever feel that noose on me, I'll blame more than that tree. Morning came. They walked me up that hill. Rope swung gentle, like it already knew my weight. Crowd looked small from the gallows stand. Sheriff read charges with a practiced hand. I searched faces in the gathered throng, saw the boys more trying to stand strong. Cottonwood leaves whispered low, sound like prayers in a strangled flow. Wind picked up with a hollow call, dust swirled tight around us all. Just as they slipped that loop on tight, cloud rolled in, killed the light. Thunder cracked on that naked ridge, lightning speared the wooden bridge. Bolt hit hard on the gallows frame, set the beam in a cracking flame. Trapdoor jammed with a shrieking lurch. Fire ran wild up the hangman's perch. Folks screamed out and scattered wide. Chef yanked rope by the burning side. Beam gave way with a splintered roar, dumped me hard on the dusty floor. Flames ate fast through the rope's old strands. Smoke burned deep in my throat and hands. They dragged me off, for the whole thing fell. Tree limb broken like it snapped a spell. Hangman's cottonwood scorched and torn, blackened limb where the noose was worn. Now when wind runs through that crown, it sounds like walls. Snow's supposed to be clean out here. It falls down dirty, landing on men like me. Sky hangs low in a laden sheet, cold so sharp it can cut your feet. Fancy post wearing a frostbit crown,
cattle bones half sunk in the ground. Wagon ruts frozen in a steel hard trail, wind like a whip with an iron tail. I walk alone with a threadbare coat, breath drawing ghosts from a guilty throat. Road sign leans with a flaking face, redemption 12 miles in a crooked place. Funny word for a frozen track, punishing sky on my bend back. Once I thought I owned this land, gun on my hip and a gambler's hand. Cheated ranchers, burned some deeds, salted wills and poisoned feeds. Watched men lose what their fathers built, walked away while they choked on guilt. Said it's just the way things go, take or be taken, that old show. Then one winter I pushed too far, left 3 kids in an empty yard. Took their food in a hungry year, heard their cries in the brittle air. Snow started falling the night they starved. Black snow on Redemption Road, falling hard on the sins I told. Every flake like a small cold stone, piling up on what I've done alone. Black snow on a bleeding field, covering things that never healed. If I reach that crooked town, will it turn me around? Blizzard rose like a burlap wall, white-out world with a deadened call. Couldn't see more than a bootstep span, felt the earth tilt under this man. Wind shoved hard with a demon's push, spun me sideways in the ghost-thick crush. Heard a voice in the whirling gale, sounded like that starving wail. You kept warm while we went cold, watched us fall for your fool's gold. Now the sky wears the same dark stain, dropping down your borrowed pain. Knees hit ice in a jarring fall, hands went numb in the whitewashed brawl. Snow clung black to my cracking skin, soot and ash from the fires within. I tried to stand, couldn't feel my feet. World spun round in a blank white sheet, thought, so this is how it ends, buried by what I did to them. Pulled my scarf over frozen lips, waited out those final texts. Didn't pray right, didn't know how, just breathe one busted vow. If there's any mercy in this storm, don't let me die just like I lived. Black snow on Redemption Road, falling hard on the sins I told. Every flake like a small cold stone, piling up on what I've done alone. Black snow on a bleeding field, covering things that never healed. If I reach that crooked town, will it turn me around? Woke up to voices, not angels, just 2 ranch hands with frost on their beards and pity in their eyes. They found me there like a lump of stone, half froze hard in a dead man's moan. Dragged me back to a lantern's glow, fed me fire thick and slow. Didn't ask where my trail began, didn't weigh the debts of this man, just said, road don't care what you were before, only what you're breathing for. I saw a picture on the cabin shelf, same 3 kids but somebody else. They had taken in what I left behind, turned orphans into a different kind. Black snow on Redemption Road, melting now where the heart fire glows. Can't undo what my hands have done, but I can change the next dark run. If that town will take my bones, I'll mend fences, carry stones, let white flakes fall on the man I'll be, and leave the black on the man I was. Behind me. They say the wind sounds different, and the branches that have seen a road up on that hill, every breeze sounds like one more last breath. Dust road curls to the gallows rise, barbed wire fence under crow's black eyes. There on the lip of the broken ridge, old cottonwood stands like a crooked bridge, bark scarred deep where the road once bit, white not showing where the necks had fit. Roots run down through the sinner's bones, drinking stories no one owns. Kids in town dare each other at night, sneaking close by the lantern light. They don't know what that tree has heard, and how many men said their final word. First one swung on a copper dawn, horse kicked out and the crowd looked on. Hands tied tight, Bible verse read, eyes rolling wide as his face turned red. Sheriff smiled with a paper writ, said law's the law and that's just it. Tree limb creaked with a tired groan, added one more to its secret throne. My own pa watched from the hill's low side, head in hand as his brother died. Told me later with a whiskey stare, the tree grows best on guilt and prayer. I swore I'd never see that branch up close. Hangman's cottonwood up on high, reaches down to touch the sky. Every leaf that shakes at night sounds like men who lost the fight. Hangman's cottonwood old and white, ropes like snakes on the downwind side. If I ever feel that noose on me, I'll blame more than that tree. Years roll by on a wagon wheel, I grew up mean with a restless steel. Cards, cheap whiskey, backroom deals, boots in places where the floorboards squeal. Robbed one coach on a winter track, thought no lawman could watch my back. Shot went wild in the smoking air, hit some kid who'd just been there. He went down in a snow dust spray, eyes still open like he wanna stay. I ran hard but the tracks ran red, blood call following every tread. Didn't take long for the word to spread. Folks want justice for the cold boy dead. Sheriff found me by the river bend, gun in hand and no pretend. Didn't fight when he slapped those chains, didn't beg when he spoke my name. Only thought of that cottonwood limb, standing tall, waiting grim. Cell door shut with an iron slam. God said, you know where you're going, man. I stared through bars at that distant rise, saw branch lines cut the sunrise. Funny how boyhood fear turns into unemployment. Hangman's cottonwood up on high, reaches down to touch the sky. Every leaf that shakes at night sounds like men who lost the fight. Hangman's cottonwood old and wide, ropes like snakes on the downwind side. If I ever feel that noose on me, I'll blame more than that tree. Morning came. They walked me up that hill. Rope swung gentle, like it already knew my weight. Crowd looked small from the gallows stand. Sheriff read charges with a practiced hand. I searched faces in the gathered throng, saw the boys mob trying to stand strong. Cottonwood leaves whisper low, sound like prayers in a strangled flow. And picked up with a hollow call, dust swirled tight around us all. Just as they slipped that loop on tight, cloud rolled in, killed the light. Thunder cracked on that naked ridge, lightning speared the wooden bridge. Bolted out on the gallows frame, set the beam in a cracking flame. Trapdoor jammed with a shrieking lurch, fire ran wild up the hangman's perch. Folks screamed out and scattered wide. Sheriff yanked rope by the burning side. Beam gave way with a splintered roar, dumped me hard on the dusty floor. Flames ate fast through the rope's old strands, smoke burned deep in my throat and hands. They dragged me off before the whole thing fell, tree limb broken like it snapped a spell. Hangman's cottonwood scorched and torn, blackened limb where the noose was worn. Now when wind runs through that crown, it sounds like war. Feeling down. Judge still says I owe that debt. Town still eyes me cold as sweat. But when I look up at that shattered tree, I hear some voice say, not yet.
Folks say her husband never came home from that last cattle drive. Funny thing is, she still lights a lantern every night.
Barn leans heavy on a wind-scarred plain, red paint peeled by dust and rain. Doors hang crooked on iron rings, roof sings low when the night wind sings. Inside stalls lined with empty straw, rusty nails where the bridles saw. Spider webs in a silver lace, catching ghosts in an open space. But every dusk when the sky goes red, she walks out slow with a covered head, strikes one match with a wrinkled hand, sets that lamp where the rafters stand. Her man rode off on a springtime morn, left soft kiss on a cheek well worn. Said drive's long but the price is fair, bring back coin and somewhere to spare. Clouds rolled mean on the second week, flood took cattle, left bones and creek. Some came back with an empty stare, some stayed out in the thunder air. He was one who never showed, just a lost name on a muddy road. Town road missing on the line, widow ready with a hollow spine. She refused to ride gone. Widow's lantern in the barn, glowing soft like a tired charm. Life for a man who lost his way, beacon in a bale of hay. Lantern swinging in the dark, small, bright, stubborn little spark. If he ever rides that trail back home, he won't come back alone. Years slid by on a wagon wheel, field grew weeds where they used to heal. She patched fences, mended roof, worked that land with a wordless proof. Held his hat on a rusty nail, faith worn thin in the furnace gale. Still at dusk with that same slow pace, lamp in hand and a distant face. Kids in town said she lost her mind, waiting long for a ghost sign find. But some nights riders pass that farm, swear they feel more than one warm arm. One black winter I was running hard, law on my heels like a deck of cards. Snow came down in a sideways blast, trail near gone in the whitewashed cast. Horse near lame in the knee-deep drift, cold in my bones like a final gift. Then I saw it in the blizzard's teeth, tiny glow from the valley's teeth. Lantern swinging through the swirling white, soft gold halo in the punishing night. I followed slow with a dying man, rare hands near numb in the frostbit air. Didn't know I was following a prayer. Widow's lantern in the barn, glowing soft like a tired chum. Light for a man who lost his way, beacon in a bale of hay. Lantern swinging in the dark, small, bright, stubborn little spark. If he ever rides that trail back home, he won't come back alone. She found me, half froze by her fence post. Didn't ask who I'd shot or what I'd stolen, just said, you look like you're trying to come back from somewhere. She dragged me in with the strength I lacked, wrapped me up in a wool-worn sack, fed me soup on a shaky spoon, listened quiet neath a winter moon. I told her lies, told her half the truth, left out gun smoke, kept the youth. She just nodded with an old steel grace, lines like roads on her weathered face. Later on in the lantern's glow, she glanced once at the drifting snow, said, I light this for the man I knew. Tonight it burned for you. Widow's lantern in the barn, glowing soft like a tired charm. Light found one more stray that night, pulled him back from wordless fight. I left at dawn with a promised change, heart rearranged on a frozen range. If he ever finds that little farm, I hope he sees what saved this harm. Till then that lamp keeps cutting through for men like him and men like me too.
carries something out here. This one carries more than water. Creek runs thin to a chalk white bed, banks piled high with bones long dead. Water brown as a blood washed stain, smell of iron after rain. Rocks like teeth in a crooked grin, roots reach down like fingers thin. High above in a circling line, black-winged judges bide their time. No fish moving in the sluggish flow, just scraps of things that live below. Even the horses balk at drink, hearing tales of what's in the sink. We called it Carrying Creek for years, dumped our troubles and our fears. Rustled cattle, stolen gold, broken guns and stories told. Bodies too when the law got hot, nighttime work where the moon saw night. Creek took all with a slurping sound, rolled them down where they weren't found. I led more than a couple there, hands tied, blindfold stare. Told myself that's outlaw pay, never thought who'd see that day. But the sky keeps a ledger. Vultures over Carrying Creek, drawing circles week by week, watching what the water hides, counting souls on the swallowing tides. Vultures hang in a silent ring, waiting on what darkness brings. If they shadow my last ride, I'll know what's inside. Dry summer, the rain held back, creek shrank down to a dusty track. Mud cracked open in a fevered grid, showing things that had stayed well hid. Bone tips poked through the flaking crust, empty shells of outlaw trust. Badges, boots, and a wedding ring, half-chewed skull and a grazzle cling. Townfolk came to the creek one day, following buzzards to their prey. Saw the graveyard we had made, truth laid bare in the fang-bit shade. Sheriff turned pale as a rock showed red, realized half of them were men long fled. Names he'd marked as up and gone lay stacked up in that shallow yawn. Whispers spread through the sun-struck crowd, angry talk getting hot and loud. I stood back with my hat brim low, recognizing every jawbone roll. One skull grin where a scar should be, friend I dumped in that very sea. He trusted me on a dark, hard night, now stared up in the blazing light. You can drown a man, but not his story. Vultures over Carrying Creek, drawing circles week by week, watching what the water hides, counting souls on the swallowing tides. Vultures hang in a silent ring, waiting on what darkness brings. If they shadow my last ride, I'll know what's inside. That night, I went back alone. No gun, no rope, just a lantern and what was left of my courage. I walked that bed with a water sun, lantern light on the old town junk. Nailed by bones I'd helped to lay, spoke their names in a shaky way. Tom and Eli and Little Ben,
Every one of you right by man, I took pieces I can't repay. Only thing left is what I say. Land or flame fluttered in a sudden gust. Glass rang soft against the rust. Vultures shifted on the canyon rim. Feathers ruffled in the twilight dim. Vultures over Carrion Creek still draw circles week by week. But now they watch a different scene. Man crawling out of what he's been. I can't drain that muddy vein, can't unsink what meant that stain. But when I ride past that poison line, I tip my hat to what's not mine.
Every river carries something out here. This one carries more than water.
Creek runs thin through a chalk white bed. Banks piled high with bones long dead. Water brown as a blood wash stain. Smell of iron after rain. Rocks like teeth in a crooked grin. Roots reach down like fingers thin. High above in a circling line. Black-winged judges bide their time. Fish moving in that sluggish flow, just scraps of things that live below. Even the horses balk at drink, hearing tales of what's in the sink. We call it Carrion Creek for years, dumped our troubles and our fears. Rustled cattle, stolen gold, broken guns and stories told. Bodies too when the law got hot. Nighttime work where the moon saw night. Creek to a call with a slurping sound. Rode them down where they weren't found. I led more than a couple there. Hands tied tight, blindfold stare. Told myself that's outlaw pay. Never thought who'd see that day. But the sky keeps a ledger. Vultures over Carrion Creek, drawing circles week by week. Watching what the water hides, counting souls on the swallowing tides. Vultures hang in a silent ring, waiting on what darkness brings. If they shadow my last ride, I'll know what's inside. One dry summer, the rain held back. Creek shrank down to a dusty track. Mud cracked open in a fevered grid, showing things that had stayed well hid. Bone tips poked through the flaking crust. Empty shells of outlaw trust. Badges, boots, and a wedding ring. Half-chewed skull in a grizzled cling. Townfolk came to the creek one day, following buzzards to their prey. Saw the graveyard we had made, truth laid bare in the fang-bit shade. Sheriff turned pale as the rocks showed red. Realized half of them were men long fled. Names he'd marked as up and gone lay stacked up in that shallow yawn. Whispers spread through the sunstruck crowd. Angry talk getting hot and loud. I stood back with my hat brim low.
recognizing every jawbone roll. One skull grin where a scar should be. Friend I dumped in that very sea. He trusted me on a dark, hard night. Now stared up in the blazing light. You can drown a man, but not his story. Vultures over Carrion Creek, drawing circles week by week, watching what the water hides, counting souls on a swallowing tides. Vultures hang in a silent ring, waiting on what darkness brings. If they shadow my last ride, I'll know what's inside.
That night, I went back alone. No gun, no rope, just a lantern and what was left of my courage.
I walked that bed where the water sunk, lantern light on the old town junk. Kneeled by bones I'd helped to lay, spoke their names in a shaky way. Tom and Eli and Little Ben, every one of you robbed by men. I took pieces I can't repay, only thing left is what I say. Lantern flame fluttered in a sudden gust, glass rang soft against the rust. Vultures shifted on the canyon rim, feathers ruffled in the twilight dim. Vultures over Carrion Creek still draw circles week by week, but now they watch a different scene. Man crawling out of what he's been. I can't drain that muddy vein, can't unsink what met that stain. But when I ride past that poison line, I tip my hat to what's not mine. I tip my hat to what's not mine.